I believe many learners feel trapped between their huge ambitions and their limited English. And today we must explore this emotional contradiction deeply.
Yes, Annie, the phrase, my dreams are big, but my English is small, captures the struggle of millions worldwide chasing opportunities beyond language barriers.
Exactly, Altaf. Language becomes both a bridge and a wall, and people often feel their dreams shrink when their English vocabulary feels insufficient.
But Annie, isn't it true that dreams are not measured by grammar rules, but by determination, persistence, and the courage to communicate imperfectly?
True, Altaf. Yet society often judges competence through English fluency, making learners feel inadequate, even when their ideas are brilliant and innovative.
That's the paradox, Annie. People dream of studying abroad, working internationally, or inspiring others, but hesitate because their English feels like a fragile tool.
Yes, and this hesitation creates anxiety. Learners fear mistakes, mispronunciations, or misunderstandings, forgetting that communication is about connection, not perfection.
I agree, Annie, but let's debate, should learners prioritize mastering English before chasing dreams, or should they chase dreams while improving language simultaneously?
I argue they must pursue both together. Waiting for perfect English delays life, while practicing through real dreams accelerates growth and confidence naturally.
Interesting point, Annie, but some learners feel failure without strong English foundations. They fear rejection, embarrassment, or missed opportunities when language skills remain weak.
That fear is valid, Altaf. But courage grows through action. Every conversation, every attempt, every mistake becomes a stepping stone toward bigger dreams.
So, Annie, you're saying imperfect English should not stop anyone. But what about professional fields where precision and clarity are absolutely essential?
In those fields, Altaf, learners must invest extra effort. Yet even there, passion and persistence often outweigh minor language flaws during communication.
Let's consider an example, Annie. A student dreams of becoming a scientist but struggles to write research papers in English. Should they pause?
No, Altaf, they should continue researching, publishing locally, and gradually improving English. Dreams must not pause. Language improvement can run parallel like supportive rails.
That's inspiring, Annie. But many learners compare themselves to fluent speakers and feel small. Comparison kills confidence, making dreams appear unreachable mountains.
Comparison is dangerous, Altaf. Learners must measure progress against themselves, not others. Every new word learned is progress, every sentence spoken is victory.
I like that, Annie. So perhaps the real debate is not English versus dreams, but fear versus courage, hesitation versus persistence.
Exactly, Altaf. The heart of this topic is emotional resilience. Learners must embrace vulnerability, accept imperfection, and still chase dreams with unstoppable energy.
But Annie, let's challenge this. Isn't English sometimes a gatekeeper? Universities, companies, and even friendships often demand fluency before offering opportunities.
Yes, Altaf. English can be a gatekeeper, but learners must treat it as a skill to unlock doors, not a wall-blocking destiny.
So, Annie, you believe English is a tool, not a measure of intelligence. Dreams remain valid even when English feels small.
Absolutely, Altaf. Dreams are measured by vision, effort, and creativity. English is simply one instrument among many, not the definition of human potential.
That's powerful, Annie, but let's debate strategies. How can learners practically balance big dreams with small English without losing motivation or direction?
They must set dual goals. Altaf. Dream-related goals like applying for scholarships, and language goals like practicing daily conversations. Both reinforce each other beautifully.
I see, Annie. So chasing dreams becomes motivation for learning English, while learning English becomes fuel for achieving bigger dreams. A perfect cycle.
Exactly, Altaf. This cycle transforms fear into energy. Learners realize English is not an enemy, but a companion guiding them toward global opportunities.
But Annie, what about emotional struggles? Learners often feel shame when speaking broken English. Shame can silence voices and shrink dreams dramatically.
Shame must be replaced with pride, Altaf. Every attempt shows bravery. Learners should celebrate effort, not hide mistakes. Confidence grows through acceptance, not avoidance.
That's encouraging, Annie. So perhaps the real dream is not just success, but freedom. The freedom to speak, to express, to connect globally.
Yes, Altaf, freedom is the ultimate dream. English is simply one pathway to that freedom, but courage and persistence are the true vehicles.
Let's debate further, Annie. Some argue English dominates unfairly, making non native speakers feel inferior. Should dreams depend on one language so heavily?
That's a critical question, Altaf. English dominates globally, but dreams should not depend solely on it. Multilingualism enriches identity and broadens opportunities beyond English.
So, Annie, you're saying learners should embrace their native languages proudly while improving English for global communication. Dreams can exist in multiple languages.
Exactly, Altaf. Dreams are multilingual. English is useful, but native languages carry culture, creativity, and emotional depth. Learners must balance both worlds wisely.
That's profound, Annie. But practically, learners still face interviews, exams, and presentations in English. How can they prepare without feeling overwhelmed?
Preparation requires small steps, Altaf. Practice daily, record yourself, join communities, and focus on progress, not perfection. Overwhelm fades when effort becomes consistent habit.
So, Annie, the debate concludes that dreams must remain big, even when English feels small. Courage, persistence, and practice bridge the gap.
Learners often imagine themselves speaking fluently on global stages, yet inside they whisper, "My English is too small for such dreams."
That whisper becomes heavy, Annie, but transformation begins when learners replace doubt with daily practice, turning small English into growing confidence step by step.
Yes, Altaf. Every word learned is like planting a seed. Over time, those seeds grow into forests of communication supporting ambitious dreams.
Beautiful metaphor, Annie. Dreams are forest, English is water. Without practice, trees dry. With persistence, language nourishes ambitions until they stand tall.
Still, Altaf, many learners quit early. They expect instant fluency, forgetting language is a marathon, not a sprint. Patience is essential.
Patience indeed, Annie. Dreams demand endurance. Learners must accept slow progress, celebrate small victories, and trust that persistence eventually builds powerful fluency.
And Altaf, community matters. Practicing with friends, mentors, or online groups transforms lonely struggles into shared journeys, making English learning more joyful.
Yes, Annie, isolation shrinks motivation, but supportive communities remind learners they are not alone, encouraging them to chase dreams despite imperfect English.